Oh, hi. This week, it's so hot. It's so goddamn hot and humid. It's like hard to breathe. So we're gonna do a really quick wrist pincushion revamp because this goddamn thing, I love the pun. I even like the button wristband color fabric, even though that's not really my thing, is this brown and orange situation. But this top bit, man, it is not thick enough that if I put a pin in it deep enough for it to stick, it just stabs through. I think it's just cardboard down here. So I think it'll be easy to like make your own from scratch. So if you're like, I don't have an already put together wrist pin cushion to Frankenstein, it's just a cardboard circle with elastic stitched to it. And then it has a cardboard border around it with other fabric. And like, there's foam here. So like, the concept is good. I think because they were going for like a watch face maybe is why this is so flat. I think it's a bad design because I've stabbed my wrist a bunch, or if I don't stab myself, the pins do not go in far enough to stay and then they fall out as I'm sewing. The reason you keep it on is because you're moving around a bunch. I'm not talking like choreographed dance moves with this shit, but I do have this fabric from the rainbow circle skirt handkerchief circle skirt thing that I made last week that I am so in love with. Oh my god, it's so good. And I'm finally getting okay with calling some of my projects good, because it is very good. But I have this circle and it's like too good to not do anything with, where normally all of my scraps go in this gigantic bag. There's just oodles of stuff in here. Yes, there's a whole pillow. It got chewed up by a dog. Don't worry about it. So we're gonna basically reupholster this. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna go about it exactly, but it's gotta be better. It's gotta be better. So I do also have this ribbon here. I think I'm gonna keep this on here. It is not usable in its current state. I never use it, but I want like a big over-the-top poof to insert my pins into. I don't want to have a tray of pins or something on the ironing board because then I gotta keep moving it around, where if it's on my person, problem solved. So I'm going to take out some thicker fabric. So I have some fleece that's gonna work. I want it to look smooth. Sometimes when I stuff a toy for Bert or whatever, I don't care that it looks lumpy because he's just gonna mess with it to the point that it's gonna look lumpy. Where I do want this to have like a really nice finish. A la Ken from Project Runway All-Stars season something. I'm not sure. I've been watching it with one of my very best friends. I just gush every time I see his pincushion. So yeah, to keep it pretty lightweight, I think I'm gonna stick with as much fleece as possible. Any scraps are gonna do. If you have polyfill, great, that'll also work. Like the stuffing from this pillow I could use, and as you can see from the mess in here, like I keep all the thread piles that build up. Any little bits that I like surge off, I just cram it in here because I'm always replacing Bert's toys, and there are just various things you need stuffing for sometimes. So I have plenty to work with, and this is how I make sure I'm wasting as little material as possible when I do stuff. Whew, I can feel the glossiness taking over. I lost track of my other pair of glasses, and something about having my hair freshly done. I did my hair, just so you're not worried, because the world is terrifying and I'm very scared all the time. So I did my own hair. But between doing that always makes me want to like dress up more when this is looking nicer. And I also had to go to my like backup glasses. I need to order new glasses. I went for an eye exam in fucking January or February. I have yet to go on Zenny and get new ones. Super not sponsored though. If I could ever use a sponsorship, it would be for my eyeballs. Anyways, let's make a little wrist poof. Also, yes, the thread situation is very different. This lives out here now. Also, my fairy god Cheryl sent me a bunch of thread. Like some of this was already mine, these little spools, and then some of this, but I have a bunch of like really, really nice thread. I'm so excited. Also, okay, ignore the fabric mountain. Those are for face masks that I don't want to make. But look, Lego boyfriend made me a thread rack, and that is all thread from Cheryl, which is madness. I'm never gonna have trouble color matching ever again, and I'm just in heaven. Although here's the bit I am proud of idea-wise. There's a little mini rack, again, courtesy of Cheryl. That is, oh, some of them came off. Oh well, it's not like I'm gonna be pulling this off probably ever. I stuck magnets on the back of this little mini guy, and because it's lightweight enough, it can just stick onto my magnetic dry erase board back here. And this particular brand of thread, right? It's called Gutermann. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, even though I took a lot of German. But these bottom bits pop out. You can still have the tube here. So I hot glued some magnets on the bottom, and now they can all be stored here. Just having the things that I use the most on hand and having things out in the open, like having all my thread out, is exactly what I need. I've just been doing little tweaks. It's making a world of difference. Okay, back to the project, because I cannot express to you how gross it is in here. I just need to start with any circle of fabric. Then, because this fabric is super slippery, I actually had trouble keeping the pins in it when I was hemming that handkerchief skirt. I keep saying scarf. The skirt I made. So something I want to look for some of the next layers is something that's going to hold the pins well, and I think a flannel is going to work really well. A lot of this is going to get folded in, so I don't really need to stack it up that high. This may even be too much. Oh, I should have done this first. Okay, I'm going to set this pile aside. Now I'm going to take a thick thread. Gonna go around the edge like 1/2 inch in. Don't have to be super particular about it, and just do some pretty big stitches. Okay, can you see the stitching all the way around? Cool. Also, are you enjoying the fact that I'm like, I want to do a fast project and it's literally all gonna be hand sewing? Okay, I'm gonna kind of fold this stuff up on its own. Oh, I think there might be too much in here. I'm gonna start pulling on the threads I have down here. Yeah, there's way too much in here. Okay, one less layer, because yeah, like the circle's gonna get so much smaller once all the thread is pulled. Oh my god, it's so big. Okay, we definitely don't need it to be that big. All right. Like, I wanted an oversized wrist poof, but goddamn, I went a little overboard, everyone. Yeah, that's gonna be like cumbersome. Okay, well, we're learning as we're going, right? I think I just need to make a way smaller circle. Do another row stitching, but further in. Let's fucking be smart about this. It needs to fit around here. So I think I just need to go like 1/2 inch to 1 inch around this inner circle, right? I definitely do not need it this big. Okay. I have my new circle. Hopefully this comes out more reasonable. I can probably like fold this in quarters now. Stick that on there. And then maybe just like stick this in there. Man, I made this way more complicated than it needed to be. Are we surprised? Of course we're not. Although actually, like, that's still gonna be too much. Maybe I just need that one flannel bit. God damn. This is going on my wrist. And I'm a big person. I mean, I have giant hands, so this is not a fair comparison, but like, look how much my fingers overlap. It is easily the smallest thing about me. It's these like teeny tiny wrists on these like forever long velociraptor arms. We are like a skosh too small. I mean, the height is still there, so it's fine. I'm just gonna cinch up this outer layer. Okay, so we basically have like a giant jellyfish head. This is not going as neatly as I had initially hoped. Am I gonna hate this? No, you know what? I think this bit, hell yeah, this bit comes off. Okay, this will be fine. So I actually took this ribbon out because I did do some planning. It's just so hot that my brain ejected that information out of my head. So I think what I'm gonna do is hand stitch in some spots around, try and make it look a little bit neater. I don't know. Is this a dumb video? I don't know if this is remotely helpful. It's all I have in me to execute today, and I really want this to work. So I'm just forcing it to happen. Sheer force of will. Like, it is making me sweat fighting with this fabric. So I'm once again going to take a thick thread, get my needle, tack it down. I don't need to do a ton of stitches, but I do want to make sure it's actually going to hold onto this. So I'm going to stick it like under here. If you were building this from scratch, I think hot glue will be your friend. If you do decide to make this monstrosity from scratch with cardboard scraps and stuff, please tag me in it wherever, because I bet you are all going to do a cleaner and nicer and prettier job than whatever abomination I am currently working on. I am also going to go get some water because I need it. I'll just sit and chill and hand stitch this down. Look at this sweet sleeping prince. He's basically become a puddle with all of this heat. Even though he's from the south, he must have lived somewhere with like air conditioning or central air or something. Okay, so listen, I'm not mad about how this looks. It wasn't exactly what I was picturing. I also didn't think I would incorporate as much of like the original bit. I thought I was going to take more apart. Also, because I have this little band guy that I didn't really realize was on there. Man, this was so cheaply made. You will literally be just as good off doing hot glue and scrap cardboard, because like, this isn't even finished, nor is it stitched all the way across. You're gonna do fine on your own, I promise. I should have just made mine from scratch, but I don't want to just toss this. So I have this little band, and I don't really want that color showing. Also, this fabric, I don't like these particular colors on their own, where if I introduce the blue that is similar to some of the blue shades in that skirt that I made. Are you proud of me for saying skirt instead of fucking scarf this time? I'm gonna take this ribbon that I just had laying around, and I'm gonna put it over this. It's gonna go a little bit taller, but I think that's okay. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of stitch it like a bias tape basically around this, because I know this is gonna fit over here. and it'll be nice and snug, and it's just gonna look nicer. Okay, the final step is upon us. Are you ready? I thought I would have a problem with keeping it on because I'm adding like a silky fabric to it, but because I added layers is probably part of why it's being so difficult. Ah, fuck. I guess it's cardboard. I can like squanch it down a little. I'm so afraid of like bending one of my nails back. Ooh, also I've got some like fun Brendan Urie hair happening. All right, you know what? It's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. And now the top does match the bottom, so it's fine. There's some blue to this as well. Yeah, man, that's it. We done did it. If I push this all the way in, it can go all the way in without fucking impaling my wrist. It's super grabby. This is what the underside looks like, and it's perfect. And the number of times I have it folded up. I'm not mad about this. It's like a little bit more jazzy and just more functional, most importantly. And I didn't waste any of this fabric. It all got utilized, and that is also rad. I need to go sit in front of a fan and not move for a while before I go full Alex Mack. I will say this is not something I plan on making to sell in my Etsy shop, but I do have other things in my Etsy shop. I have some new stuff coming, possibly already up by now. A super huge thank you to everyone over on my Patreon. They'll be listed somewhere around here. If I do some jazz hands, maybe that will make them feel more appreciated. But it is because of them that I'm able to spend time on weird shit like this, although helpful shit. Thank them for making this happen. If you would like to join and have your name shouted out here, I will have links in the description and the end card whenever that arrives. Oh, and as for a super rad black YouTuber to suggest, I would like to guide you towards, I mean, I can't imagine any of you don't know who she is, but Akilah Hughes of Akilah Obviously. She is just a brilliant mind and not a crafter or anything, but I think she has a lot of value-adding thoughts that she puts out into the world and is so fucking funny. She has done some really great sketches and just really funny, poignant thought pieces over the years. So I will add a little card to her over here and in the description. Also, please feel free to recommend other channels in the comments because I am trying to use my platform to amplify black voices and do my little part. And I'm always looking for new stuff to watch. So yeah, basically like let's hang out in the comments, please, because I haven't seen other people in a very long time and could use the socialization. As for me, I will be back here with a new video next Friday. And thank you so much for hanging out. He's just a pancake, a stinky, squidgy pancake.